Today, it has been one crazy weekend. It's hard to recover. We've been doing a lot. Let's just put it that way. And you look at the news and you're like, what is going on in the news? This is insane, all this stuff going on. So I'm going to try not to think about that right now for a second. And finish working on this. The definition testing. Again, the reason we're doing definitions like this is so that we can put them in a lookup table, so that we can do live testing of incoming data in the pegx match routines, which is not going to become clear until I can kind of uncover that and show you. But right now, I just want to get this one done. We still need to do octdig, which is just a class. So this would be good because octal is a scan. Actually, it's a node type. So we'll have a class type. What is node and class? Okay, well, classes are so scans are nodes. Scans are definitions that just produce a convenient way of expressing something. Node types are the ones that actually get turned into a node or have one or more nodes in them. And actually, no, they're the ones that get turned into nodes. These can have nodes in them, the scan types. And then we have class types, which are just sets of bytes or integers or characters, whatever. They're just, any data, and they don't have any negative look ahead or look behind or anything like that. That's not allowed. And then we have tokens, and tokens are just strings that actually they're not strings. They can be strings, or they're just like individual values. So that's what's going on with that. And how are we going to do this? So octdig, let me just simulate what number octdig is. I don't even, actually, let me go find it. Actually, I can do this with just a quick little grep. So what number is octal? Octal's 57. Octdig is 72. So we'll use 72 for this. I'm gonna kill out that. I don't believe there's going to be a parse function at all, actually. So that'll be nil. I don't know. Let me go check here. Yeah, classes don't ever have nodes. So there. And yeah, this octal does have one. All right. What else we got? This is a class type. I wonder if I could get away with doing that without capitalizing it. Actually, no, because this is already taken. Lowercase node is already taken. All right, so this is an octdig. All this stuff is so we can provide information about it. And what is an octdig? An octdig is just numbers. I don't know why I picked octal. It's kind of weird that I would pick it, but oh well. How's it going, Pickles Wrap? Oh, tough to work today, I will tell you. It was a rough Monday for me. This is hard to get back to work. Let's just put here the numerals 0 through 7. Octdig, a single numeral 0 through 7. All right, and so then we have to scan for that, which is not hard. Yeah, this is something that I always kind of, I don't know, scan, defmin, octdig. Oh, that's why we're doing this, because we need to implement scan another definition. And that should be pretty easy. But I have to have one. So this returns... yeah, this just advances if it... You know what? This might even get inlined. That would be really great. That would be really, really great. Okay, so if... I already have this defined someplace else, so... If the sbuff... Now these are digits, so I don't have to decode a rune or anything. And since moving to the byte-centric scanner, I think it's, I don't know, but I think it's increased performance. So s.buff at the current position, which is s.cur, if it is less than, well, that's going to be a byte. So I need to convert it. Actually, because it's a byte, I can already test against numerics, which is kind of cool about Go. So I should, if I remember right, I should be able to do s.buff. The current value is greater than 0. Unfortunately, I have to look it up again. I don't want to put that into a temporary variable because I don't need to do the assignment. I'm trying to decide what's faster, whether I assign that one variable to. No, I mean, one of them's memory. The other one is, yeah, I don't know. This is, I probably should benchmark that, actually. That'd be a fun benchmark. Should I test that? I wonder if I could make a quick benchmark test. Let's try that. I mean, we're doing this for performance, so you might as well. Plus, if you haven't ever done a benchmark test, this might be a good opportunity to see how they're done and to remind me how to do them. So put it in the scanner. How's it going, FoxCamp? So I have to go look up how to do benchmarks, which is not hard, but all right. Oh boy, what did I do? Did I kill it? I think I did. Damn it. I'm such a spaz sometimes. I really am. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so scanner test. I think I can squish it in here. If not, I can make my own benchmarks. Actually, you know what? That might be the thing to do. Let's do that. Make touch bench test.go. Package pegn. I just want to test some things here. And yeah, Golang benchmarks. Let's go look for those. I have to remind myself how to do a benchmark function. Here we go. Benchmark this here function. Benchmark F. What is F for? What does F stand for? All right, let's read about it. Benchmark is a blah. Reports the benchmarking Go blah. Your content, you can do it for free clicks. It's just type in Google Library. Oh, really? Yesterday you said that someone should find out how to mirror your content from YT to YouTube, and you can do it with a few clicks and typing just Google Library YouTube Partner Program. So you're telling me I can set it up on Library? Yeah. Because if it is that easy, I have no problem putting it over there. I'm all about just distributing it at this point. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh. Can you have it? It'll just automatically publish from YouTube. Because that's the only reason. Well, that's the main reason I moved to YouTube. Now there's lots of other reasons, but yep. Anyway, like I think I already have an account. I don't remember. I wonder if it's. Nope. Don't have one. Must have to sign up. Oh, isn't that cool? Like all my attacks. I was doing some of this stuff with one of my people. We were doing a SQL injection attack on and some fun stuff on what is that? I probably have to sign up first, right? I'm gonna have to put all my stuff in. You know what? I'll do that tonight during sessions when they're working. I'll do that tonight. I'll leave that up to remind me. Thank you for the reminder, though. That's great. I definitely am all about just broadcasting as much as possible. Hey, look, it's working. Yay. All right, back to what I was doing. Actually, that can go away. Don't need that up right now. Don't need the pegn up right now. I don't need the JavaScript up right now. Yeah. I don't know. You have to ask people's right. It's a place. It's a kind of a non-YouTube way to publish stuff. Yeah, I think it's a non-advertising way too. I don't know though, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. To do benchmark, the functions defined for the benchmark must be of the form as follows: benchmark xxx b testing b. Error testing, not testing. Now we have so benchmark f. The first one is rather simple. Take additional sprint f method. B.n is a variable to be adjusted. Oh yeah, B.n is the adjusted by Go. The number of times the function is executed can be seen. Blah blah blah. I think the name is just a hey, how's it going, Barzy? So I think the name is just a way to refer to it. I don't think there's any really special name there. Unlike example tests that have to match the function name because they use reflection to match and put themselves in the right place in the documentation. So I don't think I need a special benchmark name. I can just do this func benchmark. Mark, how about that? Benchmark slice lookup versus var, and we need a b testing.b. Oh, it's a pointer. And what? I'm going to go ahead and try this. So I wonder if you can you do comparisons? I want to do two comparisons. See which one's faster. REST API performance comparison. No. Benchmark testing comparisons. Analyzing the performance of Go functions with benchmarks. Let's check this guy's medium or girls. This person. No challenge writing a benchmark. Blah, blue, blue. We did all that. Using a benchmark and b.run. Yes. Where's the code? Show me the code. Show me the code. Fail. That was a fail blog. You fail. Just for funk. Package testing. Here we go. So, simple test function, we got that. Benchmark, got that. Go test command with its -bench flag provided. Benchmarks are run sequentially. For description of the testing, oh, I see. So we can actually write one that does it one way and write one that does it another way. Right? That's what we can do. That's exactly what we can do. The benchmark function must run the target code b.n times. During benchmark execution, b.n adjusted until blah, blah, blah. Reset timer. If a benchmark needs some expensive setup before running, the timer may be reset. We do not need that. Benchmark needs to test performance in parallel setting. Yes. Actually, no. We don't need parallel. Run parallel for since benchmarks don't tend to be used with the go test-CPU flag. That's to test every different CPU. Package also runs verifies example code. We did that right. Okay. Looks like we got it. So for I is 0, I is less than b.n, I plus plus. I want to do something. And first of all, I need to make a slice. So let's do that. Let's say, I don't know, var sample slice equals a byte slice, which is what we have, right? No, I think I'm going to do a string conversion. I think. Actually, why don't I just, I think I can do that here. Yep, we can do that here. All right, so, and we'll make it something. All right, and then what? Actually, let's do this. Let's make it a number, like number 6, 4. All right, and we can say this. So I'm going to do 2 different ways to bench this. Say bar benchmark slice lookup slice lookup with var. So in this one, we're going to do it the hard way. We're going to say value equals sample slice 2. Let's put another thing here. All right, and then we could say if actually we can do 0 greater than v and v greater than 2. No, 7. Let's enter equal to 7 actually. That's interesting. Anyway, you know what? That's not going to be the right number. Because it's going to be a byte. I actually just remembered another problem I have. So I have to make sure to convert the numbers. Actually, no, we're going to do this. We're going to use runes, which also works. And that's similar to what we're doing in the test we're doing here. All right. So, and that's going to use ASCII comparisons because obviously the ASCII value for 0 is not 0. The ASCII value for 7 is not 7. And that's what we're comparing. We're doing an ASCII lexicographical comparison. So, then what? Then t equals true. Let's say var t. Cool. And that's all. I mean, that's nothing fancy, right? So 5, 6. That was a really slow way to do it, but oh well. Var bool. And this one we won't look it up. We're gonna just do it the hard way. So we're gonna say sample slice 2. And we're going to do this. And what I'm wondering is if it's going to get inlined and that's going to benchmark it and make it faster. All right. So the first one has a var, no var. And the second one doesn't have a var. So we're performing an experiment so that I can decide how to do the code over here. And let's see how it goes. So it's going to tell us which one is objectively faster. Should anyway. So I think I just do go test dash bench. What am I missing? Go test. Oh, I have to tell it which thing. Fine. Build test binary flags. Run go help test. Blah blah blah. We need to test bench. About Flag needs an argument bench. Well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to figure out. I don't do benchmarks very much, obviously. I should, though. Go test, gotcha. Do we have to tell it which test we're running? I guess we do have to. Guess we did. What are you doing? You're giving me more stuff just after I cleaned it out. Dang it.
I know, I'm trying to cut the continuum, but I don't have your account number or anything, so.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be cut already.
No? I can't. You got to do that. You set it up.
Okay, I'll do it.
I find out where I can return them on. I have them on chat, but I don't know what's going on.
All right. All right, so blah, blah, blah. It's like it can't find any tests because there's nothing that matches it. I don't think you can. I could be wrong on that. I was going to say, I think you have to have test files that match the names of other files. But I could be getting it wrong. I could be getting that wrong completely. But let's test it. All right, so bench is here. Let's get rid of this one, and we'll test that hypothesis. We'll put it in here and see what happens. So that should definitely work, right? Because it's in something we know works. Uh-oh. Nope, same problem. So the test was not confirmed.
I need the power cord for my phone.
Power cord for your...
Charge something.
When?
Yeah, like yesterday or the day before, you borrowed the charger out of the kitchen on the wall.
No, I didn't. I left it right there and plugged it in over there. I plugged it into the thing in the wall. I know. I did. I just put my my iPad over there. I'm not my iPad. My Kindle. I put my Kindle on the still shelf and charged it. That's all I did. I did not take it. I never moved the charger. It was plugged into that where the plug is, where your white plug is. That's exactly where it was plugged. I swear I never touched it. I know you don't believe me, but I didn't. Okay, I gotta go. Dude, I did not take it. Come here, I'll show you exactly what I did. My Kindle was right here, and it was right there. Because it was charging Otto's phone, Doris.
Otto, did you take the charger?
I do not have it, I swear to you. I have other chargers.
I need to charge my phone because it's about to die and I need to.
Well, where would you have moved it?
I don't think I moved it.
Yeah, you did. Because I did not move it. I swear to God, I did not. The Kindle, that's the last thing that was plugged in.
No, it was with your pile of books and notebooks. Because I saw your Kindle, it did not see a charger.
Cool. This is a new charger. This is not the same charger.
This is the same charger.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's exactly this one that we had on the wall.
That's the charger that you asked me for.
This is the one that was in the kitchen.
I don't believe you. But... All right. Oh, I gotta reroute that cable. Okay. Ugh. Sorry. We gotta run our benchmarks. We're very close. I guess I don't need him in the scanner after all. Let's do that. I'm missing something simple on this. I guess it's go. I mean, because go test just works, right? Oh, that's probably why. T declared and not used. Maybe that's why. I'm sure that's why. I don't know. Do we print it? I guess we print it. No, because I don't want to invoke IO. You know what? I'm just going to take it out. I wonder if it'll complain. I mean, technically that code is valid. I just wonder if it's going to get like inlined away because there's no data in it. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like I need to do something there. I mean, how do you mess with that? I feel like this is going to get inlined and it's not going to give me a sufficient test. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know. Let's do this. Let's actually count them. So, I mean, this is stupid, but whatever. You see what I'm saying? And then we'll count up here, count up there, and then that won't affect it. So we could say count plus. So that's, you know, that's the same equivalent kind of thing. Print ln count. That should do it, right? I mean, that's a pretty fair test. Those look like almost identical. And then what? Dash bench. Flag needs an argument. What kind of argument does it need? How many we're gonna do? I don't get it. Benchmark. Functions in Golang. Oh, this is that dumb one. Doesn't show you what to do. Yep. Bad. pprof. Nope. Bench equals dot? What? Memory profile. Ooh, look at, you can like benchmark the memory profile too. See that? Wow, let's do that one. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to take his command. That looks really good. All right, let's do that. And now you won't run, right? Because the build failed. You're telling me I have to have code that actually compiles before you can run my tests? Fine. No, maybe I can get away from that. I wonder if I can get away from that. Go test run slice. Nope, cannot escape it. All right, so I need to make code that I gotta whatever. Alrighty then. Undefined octave. Octave is right there. I just defined it. Def test. Oh, that's why. Def test. They got some problems still. What's going on? Oh, right. I'll just leave that empty. That should compile. Nope. All right, I got to get this to work first, and then I'll do the benchmark, and then I'll decide how to implement the scanner. Line 15. There is no octdig. Yes, there is. What there isn't is there is not a... Are you telling me I have to... Oh, okay. I see what you said. I see what you did there. Has to be defined first, huh? Am I going to get a recursive thing going on? That's interesting. That's interesting because that means the order of my definitions... Oh, I hope I don't have a recursive loop with the definitions where I have one definition that uses something that hasn't been defined first. Whew. Let me think about that for a second. That should, because they are defined, that's why I have to be in order. This is why this is what made me change some of the stuff with the tokens. Huh. That might come back to bite me. I'm going to have to remember that. Okay. Because otherwise I'm going to have to go look at the order of the grammar and say, okay, where are the dependencies? So that means that technically, like, starting with the bottom, the least, and going up, but there's no rule about that, right? So this means that when I got to think through this, because this means that the definition for the higher level stuff that's at the top can't be implemented. The code that's going to be generated, the code that's going to have to be generated is going to have to generate bottom up code so that these definitions exist. And because they have dependencies on the other types existing first, holy cow, let me think about that for a second. That should be fine. It's going to be quite an interesting little algorithm. It's going to have to, when we're walking the tree to do the code generation, we're going to have to say, okay, grammar, we're going to implement you. And then it's going to say meta. Do I have a meta defined? No. All right, let's go see what a meta is. Do I have a language defined? No. Do I have a lang and a dash lang XC? No. Then it keeps going down the node tree and it says, do I have a lang? No. Well, that's a finite one, so let's go ahead and implement that. So boom, write it out. And then it will go do the next one. It'll say, okay, so then we have lang ext. Okay, is that written? No, that comes next. So what will end up happening is when we walk the node tree, we will sort of unravel the code in order so that it gets generated such that all the dependencies are resolved in order. That's interesting. That's going to be very interesting, because if I ever have one of those cases where I have something that depends on another thing that hasn't been defined yet, then we might have a problem there. We won't know until we actually start traversing the tree. I should probably start doing some testing with that, because that logic's, it's not that complicated. Once we do a depth first descent into the node tree, we should be able to figure this out. But basically, it's going to have to go all the way to the terminals and implement all the terminals first. In fact, I could do it that way. I could do multiple walks of the node tree while I'm doing code generation and say, am I a terminal? And if it's a terminal, which means it has just a value instead of children, then you can say, okay, I want to implement all the terminals. And yeah. And then I could walk the tree again and say, has it already? Either that, or I could just go through the whole thing and just unravel it as we go. But that means that the generated code is going to be very interesting looking. It's not going to be anywhere near the order that it appears here. And it's also another reason to have the lookup table. Okay. All right. I had to think through that. Let's see here. So scan definition, we don't have one as a definition for blah, blah, blah. Type definition type scan def min. What are we talking about? Cannot use 25. Well, we have an error. That doesn't make sense. Scan def min octdig. Octdig is a definition. I must have got that one wrong. Let me check. Scanner def. Scan def. There you go, right there. Scan def min right here. Oh, is it? Do I not have a min one on there? Wait. Cannot use octdig. Type pegn.dev. Oh. Oh. We have to make references, dereference these. Dereferenced. All right. Cannot use sbuff type as string and field value of line 31. again, this reminds me of why learning a strict type language is probably better for beginners, because it gets all these little things where you would never catch this in Python. String value. Okay, well, 31. I want a pegn node and an sbuff. See that mark? Oh, yeah? Well, what if I do this then? You know what? Right now, node values are... Oh, my God. I just think I hit another big bug. These are all good bugs, and they're all... these later bugs that are coming up are all related to switching from kind of a rune-centric, Unicode-centric data set to a byte-centric data set, which allows the use of the grammar for... Python is not a strict language. No, it is not. So, yeah, anyway, that's why I said this is bad for Python. This is stuff that I'm getting hit on right now, getting errors for. I wouldn't get errors in Python. So I would be a worse programmer for having learned to do it in Python. It would have been more annoying to write it in... It's the same argument that they use for Rust, right? Makes you a better programmer because you can't write bad code. That's the idea anyway. So yeah, the problem I have here is that I have this notion of a string in the node, and it's one of the last things that I didn't change. Me too, Foxcap. I want you to understand something. I am testing doing Go as a first language. I've started doing that this week. So I taught Python for years as a first language, and then I taught JavaScript for years as a first language. And I'm actually kind of, it's kind of my prerogative to change stuff up for its skill stack where I mentor. And I have a couple of outliers. I have taught them Go as a first language, and there's another outlier I taught Go, Python, and JavaScript at the same time. Remarkable coder. He's off to college now. But yeah, I was experimenting with what I call polyglot, the polyglot approach. They do this in natural languages too. You learn like German, Spanish, and French at the same. Romantic languages at the same time, like French and Italian and Spanish at the same time. If you can learn them. They're similar. So anyway, I don't believe in the polyglot approach for most people. For the same reason, the natural language to polyglot learning doesn't work either. It takes longer. You learn better, but it takes longer. That's what they say about. There's good science on this for multilingual kids when they grow up. At first their language ability is inhibited, and then later they're much more likely to command multiple languages because they have their brains have been hardwired to learn multiple languages. So I thought I'd try that with teaching coding too, and I think there's some relevance to trying that. I feel like we just didn't have enough time. Most of the people that I have here, the most I get with them is 4 years, because if they're young, either that or they move on to jobs and things. So I decided I had to stick with one language, and the language I ended up picking lately was JavaScript, because it can teach first-class functions. In Python, you can't teach that. Not well, anyway. I mean, strictly speaking, Python does have it. The problem is Python doesn't have anonymous functions, which makes teaching first-class functions a lot more of a pain in the butt, because you have to name your functions before you assign them to arguments, which is stupid. And so yeah, so I'm exploring using Go as a first language. There are a number of Go has never been really considered a beginner language. And it's really clear in all the documentation, tour of Go and everything. I keep having beginners try to, even people who already know how to code, I throw them at tour of Go and I hate this. Or they read the Addison Wesley book. I hate this. There's not a lot of beginner material. Head First Go is pretty good. So I'm going to write that book. But before I do, I'm going to experiment with having some new people learn. And in fact, today I'm going to start on that with some people, and I'm going to try to soften the blow So you should be able to expect some Golang lessons from me pretty soon that are designed for absolute beginners who don't know how to code anything at all. And there is a little bit more ramp up, which we're going to hopefully avoid with Replit, repl.it a little bit. And if necessary, if I have someone who's over 13, I'm going to go through the... First of all, no one goes through this until they've been through the Linux terminal proficiency kind of segment, because I don't believe in teaching any programming if it's not terminal based. You can learn VS Code if you want and do that as a supplement, but if you don't know how to use a Linux terminal, you're not a developer, in my mind. I know that got somebody on Twitter for saying it like roasted to death. It's like, sure, you're a developer. Okay, I take it all back. You are a developer. If you're writing code, you're a developer, right? If you're developing things, you're a developer. You could be developing in Scratch, you're a developer. Okay, I take it all back. But the evidence is overwhelming that Linux terminal skills are fundamental, not just extras. And I believe that more now than ever. So anyway. And so what are we going to do here? So the thing I'm being caused to reflect is this right here. And there's a number of reasons that I may actually change this to an interface. This is related to some other problems I was having with when I was unmarshalling the code. When I was actually unmarshalling the octal, I was like, do I save the actual numeric value or do I save the string that represents it when I'm parsing a grammar? And that's gonna continue to come back as a question. It may be that these nodes, I need to expand the notion of a node for a terminal, and I add its string value, and then I add its actual value, if that makes sense. And if that makes sense, that would be yeah. The only problem with that is that is going to inflate the node tree, but not unreasonably. I mean, the alternative to that is having two node trees, and that's even fatter. So yeah. I think we're going to need a string literal representation and then the actual value. And this is where we like do a punt. And we say actual and we say interface. So this would be a, the whatever the interface is that goes with the value. And I feel like that's going to be required, actually. So yeah. Don't ever depend on composite notation. I just switched up my struct order, and that would break if I had been depending on composite notation for assignment for structures. I would have just busted all my code. It's actually you know what? I think I turned it off. Did I turn it off? I turned it off because I was using it for my expect method, and I've taken that off now. So I turned off composites. Yeah, composites is uncommented now, so it should be scaring me about that if I use it now. It's one of the problems. It's not showing me because I'm using this Groovebox. I'm not seeing the red warnings anymore, which kind of annoys me about the Groovebox syntax. If I don't use Groovebox, I see these like red things that tell me warnings about when things are having probable issues. Let me see if I can actually show you that. So where's my Groovebox? Groove to the box. It's the only annoying thing from Groovebox so far that I've found. So if I go back to some stupid thing like elf lord, yeah. So now, but now watch when I do my go, you'll see where the errors are better if I make one. Well, I don't know. Might take me a bit. Scanner tests. Let's do a composite assignment. Let's say B equals. Well, I don't know why I'm doing this. Thing. I don't think I can even do type definitions in here. Maybe I can. All right, so equals thing. There we go. See that? Well, that's just giving me th because I'm not using it. It's supposed to be giving me an error on this vet right here. I'm using composite notation. You're not supposed to do that. What are you doing?
I'm setting up autopay for Spectrum on your business account.
Okie dokie. I have a problem here because I'm trying to figure out why it's not doing my thing again. Here's my signing key. GPG sign equals true. No, it's not there. Dag nabbit. I'm trying to figure out why it's all of a sudden not checking for composite anymore. I spent like 4 hours turning it off. and now I can't get it back. It's like, I swear that's how long it took me to research it. It was so hard to figure out how to turn it off because I was using it in my expect method in the first round from long ago. Am I turning it off somehow? Syntax simple. Where's my composite? Golang, go imports. Go autosave, yes. Go please enable, yes. Go composites. How about I turn this back on? Come on. Come on, you know you don't like that. Chance of conflict is very real, yes, I agree. But this isn't this is actually this is actually not caused by the plugin conflict. Because I know, because I had it on. It was working. And I didn't add any new plugins. If anything, it's I have a feeling that I bet you anything it's the actual plugin itself, because I think the Groovebox plugin messes with it. I really do. I think it's the one that's the only one that changed, so that would make sense. One last test on this. Well, when I run them, they do. Oopsie. There we go. No, that's not it. God damn it. That just doesn't exist. I already deleted all my... now I have to find this out, because that's like, I already, like, sunk cost. TH equals... So if you don't take anything away from this, like me screwing around here, learn this. This syntax is, as they say, an error waiting to happen. 4 hours of debug. Come on, Mac. Annoying. All right, so bottom line, what should I do here? So, peanut gallery. What is the proper way to do this? What is the preferred way to do this? How do I break this? I'll tell you how. Watch. Boom. Busted. I just broke it. How did I break it? Because I just assigned 2 to other and 4 to some by doing nothing more than reorganizing the struct. And I didn't get any errors. It happily did it. Yeah, no, that's not it. And so this is a matter of, so in terms of Go, this is what's called I think it's called a composite assignment. In other words, you save time and effort by not putting the keys in front. And it's a cardinal sin according to Vim and to the Go vet tool and everything like that. All right, and it's just not showing me right now because of other reasons, whatever they are, I don't know. Can I use buff S? Well, you know what? I think I have it right. I'm gonna fix this error and see if it shows me, because I've been meaning to test this. So 31 s.buff is not a thing. Can I use s.buff blah 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 mark as a string? Well, I'm going to fix this error for now. This is not hard to fix temporarily. But I'm glad I had that error because it's going to force a bunch of other stuff to happen. It has no field or method. Print. Line 12. What are you talking about? Did I delete the scanner print method? Yes, I did. That actually can go away. That whole test can go away. Octal not declared but used. Let me I want to get all these. This is normal testing anyway, so I'm just doing stuff I was going to do anyway. There's no such thing as an octal. Define but not used. All right. Well, I will use you then. How about that? How about I just do this for now? How about that? How about them apples? There, got 2, 4, and 1 rune. All right. So since that compiled, not a rune, not a rune. No, I'm not a rune. All right, so this, all right, here comes my test. I'm going to go ahead and disable composites again. Yep, composites are off. So if I do it like this, without the keys, it should make it red. Nope, not doing it. I have a feeling it's the Groovebox plugin. It was showing these things would just would highlight red with vet. I can go vet this right now. Let's say go vet fail, and it'll tell me unreachable code. That's a different problem. Pretty types on the field type. Pretty. Yeah, I still think my composite's still activated somehow because it's not giving me the error. Yep. Because if I do this, if I do go vet, go lint. I can't remember even which one it is. It's been a while. Anyway. I still think composites aren't. You know what? I don't think GoPLS is initializing properly. Let me go check. Does it say initialize GoPLS? Initialized. Yep. All right. Well, something I have somewhere is telling GoPLS to not do composites. And yeah. I wonder why. You know what else though? Because it's not showing me other errors too. Oh yes, no, it was. It was showing other errors, right? Because watch, if I get rid of this, this th will come on. See this? Now watch. I'm going to turn Groovebox off. I'm going to turn Groovebox back on and watch it die. Groovebox messes with it. It kind of angers me, but oh well. I mean, I like Groovebox, but not at the price of. See that? Look, nothing. Nothing there. And GoPLS initialized just fine. So that means the Groovebox plugin is borked. It is definitely borked. And that angers me. And I don't feel like fixing it right now. It's not my problem, it's theirs. So I can probably set the highlight and figure out what that is. Actually, I have a thing for this, if I can remember it. There it is. Set relative number. No, I didn't want to do that. It must be 2. F2. There we go. So go block and go paren. So it's funny because the PLS server does not produce, this is a Vim script thing, but the PLS server does not produce changes in the highlighting. So, you know, whatever was it called? Highlight. Highlight doesn't show, you know, what it would be. Like, you know, there's nothing red here at all, by the way. Groovebox red, bold, blah, blah, blah. I think what happens is the Groovebox colors take over from the GoPLS servers colors, and they did, like, I think it throws them out somehow. And that annoys me. Don't you dare say use NeoVim, because it would still have the same problem. So, go package, go import, go constant, go label, repeat, hide. Complexes, go boolean. Bloop, 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 do, 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 do. The only way to know this for sure, one last little fun thing, is to turn it off. I'm going to turn this off, turn L4 back on, and see what the same highlights are. So there we go. There's the thing I want to see. And that's GoPLS doing its job, telling me exactly the line that has a problem before I leave the file so I can go fix it. Don't have to run vet or anything. It's like super awesome. It's one of the best things that was added to the GoPLS Vim Go thing, and it's really, really amazing. But Groovebox screws it up. And so why do they screw it up? I don't know. So error message, okay? So we have an error message. There's one that's red. What else do we have that's red? Spell bad. Spell bad is red. I actually defined that one myself. Error. Error is defined. Okay, so there's another red thing. Go escape error. Look at that. Go escape error. All right, let's see which ones else we got. Go space error, go binary error, go octal error. What? Look at all those good error things. Go diagnostic error. Links to spell bad. What? All right, that doesn't make sense, but so let's go do the same thing again and turn Groovebox back on and see what's causing it. So once again, no error. Highlight. And let's just search for errors here. I don't think I can. I just have to go through them. They're not even there. Not even there. No such thing. They've all been taken over because Groovebox is a piece of shit plugin which doesn't know how to leave other stuff alone, apparently. Okay, I'm done with this. But let's see if we can find the Go one anyway. Go escape octal XXX links to Go special string. See, who decided to change what it links to? Did you just decide that, Groovebox? Who made that decision? Go escape error is still this, so that's not it. Where is the other error stuff? Go decimal error, link to error, okay. Decimal error, link to error, go init error. Go octal error. So these are all red, so why aren't they showing as red? I don't know. Because whatever the error is, and we can't look that up, that's what I was trying to do, by the way. I was trying, go coverage, that's cool. The hard thing, see how these are telling you exactly their names and everything? I'm not aware of how to do it, but you can, there's this thing I learned about where you can go, it's go block, go front. It'll tell you why it has that color on it and why it doesn't. I wonder if that's different when I take this off. One last check. I know you're absolutely right, Mac. 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later. Let's see if this is still the same semantic. Yep, no difference. Okay, so the GoPLS is applying some sort of highlighting. It's not syntactically changing anything. And that's hard for me to see. I don't know how to see it. I'm not aware of how to see it. I wonder if I could set up just the highlight. Got a personal trainer. What are you talking about? You did? Look good for you. Status line, error message. The only thing I can figure, I mean, at this point, it would just be hunting and pecking. It'd be like looking for which one it actually is. I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but I'm not that into it. To figure it out. See, here we go. Nothing, right? I bet it's being highlighted, but I just can't see it. That's my theory, anyway. See, I have a feeling it's doing Groovebox foreground, and that is overriding everything else. That's my feeling, that it's getting applied after the other is getting applied, and it's blowing it away. That's my best guess of what's happening there. So, one quick thing: how to change the order of text highlighting and colors in Vim script. Color scheme of sectional. First row is red. Colors in Vim editor. Common complaint is that the default color scheme is a little too bold. The text highlight color button displays highlight. Ugh. All right, another day. Another day, I'll do that. But as you can see, this would. It also didn't throw this other error, which means the customized thing is the struct. So the reason I did all this is so I can help anyone out there watching to know not to do this and to do this. All right, so this is bad and this is good. There. Now you haven't completely wasted your time here. Make sure you use your key equal or key colon in your struct definitions, and don't do this, because if somebody changes the order, it will break your struct without it being picked up as an error, and that's a bad thing. And if you use the default Vim, it will, or the default Go VI, whatever, it will flag that as an error automatically. And I had to turn mine off because I was doing it on purpose. There are a couple legitimate reasons to use it if you're creating sort of a pseudo language of some kind, but now I'm not, right? So I got rid of that pseudo language stuff and did a proper scanner, and so I no longer have a need for that. So now we're back to benchmark testing, and I'm going to run this benchmark now that everything passes over here. And after I do that, I'm going to go make coffee. I'll be back for a little bit more. Look at this fancy test case. Ooh. What happened? We had a panic. Why did we have a panic? Index out of range. Fine. Fine, I will fix that. I will fix that. Give me a sec. Scanner test. Oh, actually, no. We put it in the benchmark, didn't we? Yes, we did. So we confirmed that you can have tests in other files. They don't have to be named the same, which I think I knew that, but not. I got doubtful on it anyway. Sample size 0. No, 1, of course, you dummy, Rob. So stupid. Let's start at 0, guys. I had a guy actually miss that on a test in a computer science course. I'm not kidding. I made a whole blog about it. I ranted and railed on the teacher who taught it. They taught their whole class that lists start at 1, and if you answered 0, you got it wrong. And the only languages, and then of course, after I blogged about that, everyone came out of the woodwork. But Lua starts at 1. Fortran starts at 1. Anyway. All right, there. Hey, look, there's our pretty benchmark. I know. Can you believe that, Mac? I was like, you are offending my culture. I'm gonna go. I'll show you this. I'll go show you this Medium. This is back when I used to blog on Medium. I haven't blogged on Medium in centuries. Medium lists start at 1. Yeah, I'm going to. I need to. Oh, that's not it. That is not it. Medium 3-minute read, the official Medium blog. God damn, I hate Medium now. All the reasons you should get off Medium immediately. This is probably, once again, ancient knowledge before they put the paywall up and everything. JS, of course I do. Duh. I don't hate JS-based websites. That's not accurate. I hate websites that are not visible in anything but a JavaScript-enabled web browser. The only thing that should be that way should be an application, the end. If you're putting your documentation behind... Yeah. Where is it? Lists start at 1. Mulstein. Why would you look up my last name and not give me my Medium post? You piece of crap. Did I take it down? Oh my God. Oh, hey, that is not me, by the way. It's some fraudulent hack who I got hate mail, literal physical hate mail for him. Also got his unpaid diamond ring bills in university. Oh, God. What happened? I used to be one of the first... I don't know what's DuckDuckGo. I'm going to use Google. Pay attention because I don't do this very often. Oh, my God. Really? You're going to burn my eyes out, Google? Hey, look at all the stuff I searched for recently. It's a good thing I searched for good stuff. Why was I searching for that? Fiona Apple's remake of... Well, these aren't even my searches. Some of them are others. Wait, all right. So let's do this. Let's search for... lists start at 0. I don't want to go find it. I could probably... Oh, yeah. There it is. College Board. College Board. How many billions of dollars do we give this fucking organization? They run our AP tests. This is from their material. Our AP Computer Science test in the United States teaches you that the first element of a list is at index 1. And if you answer that incorrectly, you don't get your AP Computer Science test exam properly scored, and then you can't go to college because you're dumb and you don't know about computer science. I am telling you, there are so many objective indicators of how broken our system is. I cannot even begin, and this is definitely one of them. College Board is this behemoth organization that has taken control. Not to mention, they were. Have you seen all the scandals they've been stung in? College Board, you suck. There's a lot of great people that work at College Board, but as an organization, you suck. You're the epitome of bureaucratic crap that is subject to corruption and has been pawned off. You guys at the center of the scandals with all those people who paid proctors to take tests for them and shit. You are at the center of a broken system. And this is a perfect example of that. The first element of a list is 1. Not-for-profit College Board. Yeah, right. College Board is to connect students to colleges and opportunity unless... Oh, my God. Just please, no. I can't. This made me so sad. And I read the whole thing here. I'll give you guys a link if you really want to read my rant. I know you probably don't, but... This is why I can't participate in the academic system in America anymore. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. The whole college... Yeah. Well, College Gate is kind of like winding itself up, and that's good, right? It's kind of ending, but my God, did it not shine a light on all the things that are broken? Misfortune education. Nope. I'm sorry, students. The curriculum says the first element of the list is the index 1, and so it does. Anyone who answered 0, the overwhelmingly correct answer, would then have gotten the test question wrong and been demerited in the AP credit. And you should have seen all the people who came unglued in the Discord, people who knew better. And yeah, listen, I practically yelled at them. You mad, bro? I had to really check my emotions when I learned all this. It led me to, that's the wrong way to spell that, to ask myself, why are you so angry about all this? And the answer is that this simple thing is why it's so busted. There's a kid who just got a test question wrong for saying that you don't need UL around your LI elements in HTML for everyone, because that's where they were taught to do it in their class. I'm telling you, it's like insane, the level of stupidity. It's not like, design differences about object-oriented programming versus functional. That's not it. It's like fundamental factual errors in the instruction that's hard-coded and codified for the entire system. Oh, and as long as they get their money, they don't care. They don't care about the people. They don't care about having a third party actually check the material. It's just, I can't talk about it. I'm getting myself all spun up. It's time for me to go get coffee. That'll help, right? Oh, I'm laughing at myself. I have to laugh. If I don't laugh, I would just cry. I will cry. Oh, yeah, that's true. It's just crazy. Dude, I want to fix it. I really do. I just really want to. I'm trying, Mac, but you know what? I don't want to leave a bunch of people here behind. And that's one of the reasons I didn't go to Toronto as well. I'm going to do the Mr. Robot thing. I am going to stay. I'm going to work for Evil Corp, and I'm going to fix everything from the inside out. I'm going to fix everything as much as I can. Not everything, of course. Look, I can't stop ranting enough to finish anything, for God's sakes. I'm the slowest programmer in history because I get distracted by all this shit. But, at least I'm trying. So many people aren't. Merit is the real hack. It really is. Merit is. And thank God everybody's waking up to that. That sharing economy thing from the Third Industrial Age movie we watched the other day together that I got copyright dinged for, but they talk about that. The sharing economy is about merit, and it's about actually knowing your stuff. I'm not going to say who, but I have somebody in my group who does not have a high school degree, and I think he eventually got his GRE, but he kicks ass. He's one of the best developers I've ever had the pleasure of having in my mentor community, and he's completely self-taught. And it's about merit. It really is. And the thing that's funny is that when you are self-taught, you run around with more imposter syndrome than the average person. And I made a whole video about this. It's better to have imposter syndrome and say, I suck, than it is to have Dunning-Kruger effect and say, I rock. And that's Trump. Yeah. Imposter syndrome is good. Actually, I suck, I rock. I have a video on my YouTube. Go watch it. And I encourage you to watch it. It's I suck, I rock. It's actually a good symptom if you have imposter syndrome. If you have imposter syndrome, it means that you are constantly checking yourself and your knowledge, and you might beat yourself up too bad about it. But the other is way worse. The other one is caused when you go to a college or something like that. You get a CS degree. You come out, you think you're the shit, and you don't know anything. Yeah, it's not a good experience. A little HR recruiter is still not going to pass someone without a degree. This is actually insane. I know. It is. It's totally insane. You have to look. I've talked a lot about that on my other videos too. If you go back, the employment is all about trust. You have to teach people how to trust you. You have to show them how to trust you, and it depends on the career. It depends on the path and everything. It's all about trust. They're not going to pay you until they trust you. And a college degree is one way for lazy organizations to establish trust. They say, oh, hey, I got this degree. You must be good. You know what else is the worst? Giving a certificate to somebody before they even do anything. Now they're dangerous. They're dangerous. They're going to go out there thinking they know stuff. They're going to, imagine giving somebody a CPR certificate without them actually performing CPR, in a way that's proven to help. Then they're going to go out and they're going to think that they know it. They're going to do it. They're going to kill somebody. Well, the same thing is exactly the same thing is happening with some of these CS degrees that are getting put out. People they get a CS degree or a horrible boot camp. They go to a bad boot camp. What happens? You go to a bad boot camp, they come out here, they're thinking they're all that, and then they can't even, make a basic web page. So then what? Now they've lost all their money. They have no way. They have nothing to demonstrate their merit, and now they think they worst of all they think they know, and so then they have this horrible experience that ruins their reputation and fills them full. Then they have a massive cardio infarction of imposter syndrome all at once because they get ripped down and get shown what they really are. And so the reason I'm going to go to get some coffee here in a bit, but the reason that imposter syndrome is actually sort of a good symptom, and you want to get over it, of course, is because it means that you actually are testing your own ability constantly. It means you're questioning yourself, and you should be doing that all the time, I think. I believe you should be questioning your own abilities all the time so that you can check them. And you can say, how can I self-assess here? Where can I find an opportunity for me to provide my own self-assessment so I can see whether I know this or not before I go breaking the door down of some company saying, yeah, you want me, I'm the best. That's how we get Trump. I'm not going to talk politics, but that's exactly how you get a dude who says, I got the best words. We have COVID under control. That's where that comes from. It's a psychosis. So anyway, and our whole education system is based on that. You get an A, you think that you are ready for society, but you got that A without ever learning any personal finance or, even remedial resume skills these days. You don't even have to know how to type. You can graduate today and not even know how to touch type from high school. They've totally watered the whole thing down. It's just insane. I just can't deal. Successful non-politician entrepreneur, people were thirsty. Yeah, they were. And I understand where that came from. I actually was subject to that myself. When I probably 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years, I would say, when I first heard Trump was thinking about it, I was intrigued. I won't lie. I was very intrigued. I was like, hey, we definitely need something new in there. We need to get an oligarch out of there. I didn't know what I was talking about. I had done no research on anybody. The idea is palatable. It's not reality, but it's a palatable idea that somebody from the outside could come in and help, improve it. It's a palatable idea. It's just not reality. I'm not against college. Okay. Anyway. And this is where I kind of, anyway, if you want to read that, go read it. Hey, I have notifications. I'm going to read those and go get coffee. Yay. Oh, somebody retweeted me. That was nice. Thank you guys. Oh, wow. 2 different ones. Kind of scared of that. I have to live up to expectations and people are going to want to see code. Okay. Well, here's our benchmark. So let me just wrap up with the benchmark here and then I will put the fish on for 10 minutes and I'll come back and work for another hour with you guys. Doing this if you want to just watch what I'm doing. My sessions start at 4. I do have 2 openings. I take 25 private mentor people at a time, and I currently have 2 openings. People went off to work, and one who's in school now. She had to drop because it's amazing what they're doing. The school load people are giving now that everything's remote for some schools is like double. For some reason, they feel like because they're home and they're not coming into school, they can double their workload. These poor kids, man. Two of the people that I have here, I've talked to them. One of them had to drop because she was so overloaded. She's been here for 5 years. She's amazing. She's going to come back during the summer. Yeah, she's so awesome. Anyway, so we have, which one's faster, people? Wow, that was not that big of a difference. Do you see that difference? So no variable was slower than the variable one. That's interesting. Let's try that again. Benchmarks are tricky because you have to have a silent system to do this, right? Also, we didn't look at the memory profile stuff. Let's go look at that. That doesn't look very readable. How am I supposed to read that? Go. I've never done a benchmark this well, so I'm gonna try again here. I'm gonna drop the bench memories and the CPU profiles right now, and just do this. But again, it's kind of hard to get a good benchmark unless you have a totally silent system. Well, that surprised me a little bit. Ooh, look at how close that one was. That was pretty damn close. No, the var is actually faster. Interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense because it's two slice lookups, right? So two slice lookups versus putting the pointer in the one. Can it bias the timings? Yeah. Priority queues illuminating. Really? Yeah. Interesting. Caching can dramatically base. Yeah. And yeah, but this is pretty consistent. So this shows. Let me just show you what I'm testing, guys, so you can see. I did this for a number of reasons. One of them was just because I wanted to see what's faster, and another was because I want to remind myself how to do Golang benchmarks, which are built into the language. I mean, that's pretty fucking awesome. I mean, that's awesome. Try not to swear, I promise. I'm really trying hard. If to parents and potential employers out there, just know that I do swear in my private time, and I'm trying to not, swear publicly as much, so I can be an acceptable member of corporate America again, if I have to be. Let's face it, corporate America, they swear like crazy. Where's my benchmark? Here it is. So here's what I was comparing, and then I'm going to go get coffee. I was trying to compare whether it's faster to evaluate by doing two slice index lookups. And then, so slices are an very light abstraction on top of an array in Go. And so they're just doing a slice lookup. But in this case, I think this means that there's like an indirection happening here and an indirection happening here. And down here, the difference is we have one indirection that gets saved to a temporary variable, and then that gets put here, and then that's saved off. I want to say that this here is being inlined. I would bet you anything that that's getting inlined because I'm looking it up here for once. And so this is going to be doing two comparisons with two lookups. Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. Should have inlined it for you. Infinite, I think this one, we can actually profile it and find out. That's another thing I haven't got really good at. I did it once, but I need to get really good at profiling. For performance and stuff. I had one guy and we placed him with InfluxDB, and one of the criteria was he needed to know how to profile with Go. And there are tools for profiling, but we're talking about database performance. So that's, that's when, Go crosses over into the C sort of land of profiling thing. You can just use Go tool, pprof. Is pprof the one? I haven't used that one for a while. The assembly of certain lines. Nice. I haven't used pprof. I was just reading about it today, actually, but I'll have to try that one. I wonder if we can do that with a test. Do you think? I wonder. Mem profile. Oh, after we dump it all, you mean? Yeah, let's do that. Let's try this. So what? So go pprof, go tool pprof, and then what? Mem profile out. No such tool pprof. Oh, I gotta install it. What is it? Where is it? Is it tools? Where is it? I haven't got to get the go get. I don't know what it is. Net HTTP pprof. That's different. Pprof. Package runtime. How do I get it? Do tools. Now you've really got me down a rabbit hole. It's a very educational rabbit hole. Looks like it's not included. Oh, wait. Nope. Google pprof blob master readme. All right, I'll read about it. How do I get it? Pprof doc. Is it Google pprof? I think it is. Wow, I really have to look at this baby. I have to look at this baby. Uber made it? Really? Huh. serving HTTP requests to server. Oh, I don't want that. But yeah, I changed my coverage to do that. I'll have to look at it later. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty awesome, right? That kind of profiling. So anyway, this is the end of this chapter. So all I really wanted to do was find out if this is faster. And so it turns out that the intermediate variable is actually faster for whatever reason, probably because it gets inlined, as we were saying, and which we could find out with pprof if we wanted to, but just going to go stick with this for now. That does mean that my scanner here, oh wait, this is in my defs. Defs.go. No, my def test. So yeah, so this here, which one are we on? Yeah, up here. So yeah, so we do this, we say v equals undefined v. Okay, so let's do this. Let's say v equals s buff s.current, and that's still faster than a unnecessary function call. So, and that's going to give me a byte, 1 byte. And that's fine because I only need 1 byte because I'm checking for 0 for 7. So that's a big change. If you've been watching me from before, the new scanner that I'm doing is byte oriented and not Unicode oriented. In this case, I only need a single byte because I'm going to look for the digit 7th or whatever. And then I'm going to say if 0, wait, the rune 0. I love that you can do numeric comparisons because they're just in 32s. And since it's ASCII, we can do this. So v and v is less than 7, less than or equal to 7. I think it's like 42 or something, actually. What am I doing? All right. Then what? Then we do this. Then we say octdig declared about it used. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll use it eventually here. Then what? So we return how could I do this? I wonder if this is faster. Actually, we could do this thing. We could do v. So if v is less than 0 or v is less than or greater than 7, then we panic. And I can say I was expecting an octal. And we already have that. We already have expected. Huh. Give me a second here. So that would have been, yeah, func scan function. So panic, I think it's pegn.expected, isn't it? God damn it. Expected a single, whatever. I'm going to change this in a second. I've got to get this, I got to make this cleaner. I want to code generate all this stuff eventually. So that's it. That's it. So that's all we need for a class. All right. So that's plenty good. This is something that I could render. So if I were to look at this, I would be saying, all right, I have a range. And then as soon as I saw the range, I'd say, okay, what are the numbers in the range and what are their use? These are actual digits. These are decimal digits. So that's how they would show up in the Yeah, the generation is going to be tricky. I won't lie. I feel like I am writing a compiler at that point. The code generation part is not unlike what I would imagine writing a compiler is. So yeah. Anyway, apostolic. And this octal is good too. And then we just have oct range to play with. Octal has a parse function because it is significant. That's what it looks like over here. You got moved, yep. It makes it easier for me to focus. It's so hard for me to watch it when you guys are up on top. I forget you're down there sometimes. I won't lie. Which is good. So octal. So octal is an O plus an octdig plus. And we can see that we have that here. So an octal is an O plus an octdig, one or more octdigs. But because an octal is significant, we're gonna make a parse function, and that's gonna scan it all out and mark the beginning, and then pull in a new node and return a new node that is that content. Now, the problem here is, holy shnikes, I think I just fixed a big problem I had. Oh, it can't be this easy. I feel so stupid. If this is this easy, I am going to be so happy. Actual. You see what I can do here, right? So, okay, so here's the rub. I got to come back to this. I'm going to put it to you here. Consider populating actual right now. And so here's the question. Do we want to spend the time in our parser deriving the actual value, converting the string into an actual numeric value that can be used later in multiple places? Or do we want to just save the time to do that during scanning, or parsing in this case, and not do that and force whatever's using it in the end to do that value conversion? Think about that for a second. So then the real question is, when are you going to use it? Right. At some point, I'm going to need the actual value so I can do a numeric comparison. And if I convert the value now up front when I parse it, I forever have that value cached with the definition, so that when I'm using the definition later for validation and such, I can actually do those comparisons. Now the argument can go either way. I could say, well, I don't want to invoke all that extra overhead and for having that extra value stored when I'm just going to parse it, and I could say I'm linting. I'm linting, right? I've got a grammar. I'm just going to relint it. I have my knowledge base, but right now I've got to do this for a while. It's going to be a half a year or so apostolic. I'm not in any rush, but I'm making a bunch of really important tools along the way. So that's going to be a thing. And I'm going to try to do beginner stuff every week, if not every day. So my gut tells me that it doesn't hurt to convert the value into its actual value here. And because we're going to be dealing with relatively small amounts of data at a time, and most grammars are not going to be huge, that having that value here converted and available already is worth the extra effort. Basically, if you're either going to just want to scan the thing to see if it matches, in which case you're kind of linting, or you're gonna parse it. If you parse it, you probably want it. It's gonna take a while, apostolic, but it's coming. It's coming. I promise. The year 2021 is. I plan on doing. I might make a business out of it. I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, I'm not going to sell any of it. I've had a few people suggest that if I were to, when I complete it, if I were to actually take it to enterprise, I could show some people how to organize their knowledge content. There's a number of big pieces that have to be coded though, and hopefully I can get it to the point where you guys can help me if it's organized enough to do what. But a big piece of this is a really solid language parser, and that's what I'm working on right now. I'm grabbing some coffee, so you know I can always pull this. I can always pull the actuals out. Uh, you know, if I need to. It's just so convenient because I've already pulled the value out right here, right? So to do that little bit of extra parsing seems like, because let's face it, if I'm going to be parsing, it's going to be because I'm going to want. So let's say I'm doing a pegx real time grammar comparison where you pass a grammar just like you pass a regex, then you pass some data to match the regex, and you don't want to precompile it. In that case, I would have to parse the AST of the grammar going in so that I can compare it to the parse tree of the data going in and see if it matches. But I also want the data, but I very much want to have the numeric data. And since I'm already here, you know, I've already got this thing. I don't have to walk the tree later and populate the actual values. So I think I actually do want the actual, pun intended. So so populate. And that's good because I can also use that for marshalling and unmarshalling too. So I can, you know what I mean? If I wanted to, I could marshal as a binary. That'd be great too. If there's good documentation, it could catch on. I think so too. I mean, I need some good logos and documentation and all that stuff. It's definitely wanted out there. There's no doubt about it. And there's other people coming up with stuff too it's getting pretty close. So I'm glad people are thinking about the problem. All right, here's the fish. I'll be gone for about 5-10 minutes. So I'm gonna make coffee. I'm making coffee. Got the coffee. When did it get cold in here, though? Wait! Oh my gosh! It's my Patagonia sweatshirt. I can't believe I found this. This thing has been gone forever. This is such a great sweatshirt. That's why coders wear sweatshirts, because they get cold, man. I'm telling you. You got to get up and circulate your blood. Otherwise, you'll get like blood clots or something. I don't know. 3:11, man. I don't have much time at all. I gotta go pretty soon. It took me longer than I thought. What am I doing really here? I am wrapping up this definition. I don't think I need octal range. I'm just going to stick with octal for right now. I'm sampling how I'm going to turn these definitions into actual things. Is octal still 49? Check. 49 back. Octal range, yes, 49, okay. I can probably undo this one then. And print it. This is a test that's going to eventually test the how this stuff all works out. This is again all going to be generated some point. Where did you come from, you nasty little bugger? It's these flies. We still have these. You know what it is? We found it. It's in plants. Plants is where all the flies hide. Yep. They're annoying as hell. Oct range. So define octal is not a thing. It's underscore octal. Because this code is all going to be generated, so I'm simulating that. In fact, let me go ahead and flesh out these two, and then I'll have 3 definitions, including a class. I don't have a token. Tokens will not be represented as definitions, even though they'll increment the numbers. Just because. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe they will. We'll see. I don't know. Haven't really got that far. God, dang it. That guy is really annoying. Where's my octal? Okay. So anyway, octal range. This is this a node? I think it is. Oct range is, yes, it's a node. It's got 2 dashes. Octal is also a range, a node. So got that. This is a class, though. All right, a character class or whatever you want to call it. We have we're gonna scan that rune, and then what? We're gonna scan a rune. This rune later on, and we're going to scan. Oh, we were stuck on actual. That's what we were doing. We were going to maybe go get the actual value, and I still want to do that. But so that's probably enough stuff I can finish tonight. Scan dash. Oh, you see how easy this is now that we are using panic and don't have to check the return values. People yell about go return values all the time if this equals nil and all that. But sometimes you can get away without using it. There we go. Look at how easy that scan function is now that I got those things. I'm like really happy. Very, very happy with that. I mean, that's so easy to generate when I'm going to be doing that later. And then what? What else have we have down here? We have the scanner for the node, which is essentially just the same thing. In fact, I've always thought about just calling the scan function itself. Oops, that's too much. But it's down here. And then let's, I'm going to go check. Yeah, so we need to do the mark. s.mark equals s.current, and that's so we can actually catch all the stuff that's coming out of this. I wonder, see, this is where, I'm glad we're doing this, because this is a case where I could actually use a parse function instead. See what I'm saying? So I'm going to do that actually. Instead of doing a scan dev octal, I'm going to parse octal. And I've been wondering if what the best way to do that is. Another thing too about this, when you have another thing that is a thing, you can actually call that instead and remove a level of indirection here, unless you're doing like minimum of them. So if I've only got one of them, I could have done this instead. I could just do octal.scan. You see what I'm saying? And then I don't have that indirection. It just goes straight to the scanner, and and it kind of hands off to it in kind of a functional way. And I can do that here too. And I tried this before, so I'm gonna go with that. And a really cool thing about this is because both of the, I don't even think I need to mark this. I don't. So I can do this. I can do octal.parse. Give it a scanner so I can parse it. Now this is going to be interesting because yeah, we're going to have to return a new node here. That's going to be the parent node. So yeah, we can do, I'm going to have like some sort of thing. Or I could define the node up front and do an append child. Yeah, that's probably the best thing. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Well, I guess, yeah, because it'll panic. It won't return the node until it gets to the bottom. So that's another thing. So we're not going to return n until we get to the bottom. So up here we'll just define it. We'll predefine it. I'm going to cheat and go grab this line right here. So this is all from our original that we was doing. N equals just a new pegn node. And we'll use the new syntax. All right. And then what? Again, because of all the panicking, we can do a lot of easier things. We can do stuff like this. We can say n.append child octal.parse. Holy cow. When a plan comes together, people. When a plan comes together. And you know what? None of that is, if any of that panics, it won't return it. And so we get the effect that we really wanted. Stupid. Oh, finally he's dead. Stupid bug. All right. And that makes me very, very happy, because this is so easy to generate. That's being generated again from this grammar over here. So yeah, we just grab a new node and we scan. That just proves it's there. Any of these things will panic if they don't work, and it blows up. And if it blows up, it'll blow up before the n is returned. So everything is advancing the cursor exact number so that the error message is directly resting on the byte that's causing the problem. So yeah, might not be the most sort of orthodox way to make a scanner and a parser, but it's gonna work. Looks like it's gonna work. And this way I can actually, I haven't mentioned this yet, but the goal of course is going to be, wait, I need to do some of the things here. I just remember. The goal is going to be to be able to create essentially these sorts of things in memory at real time too. All right, wait. We need to do this. We need to give you the value and the actual. No, we don't need that. Actually, we'll get a value later. Okay, so we do have to do this though. So n.type equals 49. Again, this would be coming from a template generating, a code generating template. And then there we go. Super cool. And because these are not, they don't have any containers around them, because we're not doing that for the non-parsable sort of things, the non-significant. All right. Gosh, that was fast. Let's play around with the actual for a bit. All right, let me take a sip here. Get the actual from the string. Okay, so, I mean, all right, so one of the reasons I didn't define the node until the end down here is I don't want to slow the scanner down. So I didn't want to make a node unless I got to this point, which meant, okay, yeah, now I have a node. And in this case, I had to make the node earlier because I need to add stuff to it, right? So it's fine to incur that. I could have, done like helper variables here, but in this case, I can do it directly. I don't even have to use an intermediate variable. So this, we paid for it by doing it up front. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because now when we talk about making actual values, this means I have to have the string value in advance. So in order to do that, and we already know that looking up this value is probably going to speed that up. So I'm going to change the form of this to be n equals pegn node, new pegn node, and then we're gonna we'll return the node, return n down here, and we'll do n dot type. I mean, it's gonna be slightly slower, but not that much. 57 for that, and n dot value. I mean, it's a little bit easier to read, so I kind of prefer this way, but I think it's a little bit slower. So we're going to convert that to a string. The other interesting thing about this is that eventually I'll be able to do base 64 strings and stuff like that. So depending on what type they are, they can be detected that way, which is pretty cool. So part of me wants to, there's a slight, I don't know, we should be able to connect this parsing and unparsing and printing and everything to the JSON marshalling. Because the JSON marshalling is just sticking with strings and stuff, but if we made the JSON marshalling a little bit smarter, it could do that. But the reason it's dumb like that is because it's supposed to be able to have any grammar represented that way. And a different grammar might have different integer IDs and stuff. So no. It does make me wonder, though, how a particular grammar would represent itself with binary values. There's no way to detect coming from JSON into, unmarshalling JSON into a struct. There's no way to detect that a string is a binary base 64. And I wish I knew how to do that. I wish there was some good way to detect that, oh, this is binary data. Now, obviously, if you know what you're unmarshalling into, you can write that code. But if you're using a generic JSON unmarshaller, you'd have to just put it into the string and then detect it from its type and then convert the type over. And up until like an hour ago, there was nowhere to have actually put that. And thankfully now we do have that in Node. That was kind of an accidental discovery, but I really like it. So that's the idea of having an actual, right? So let's pretend, how's it going, Krika? So let's pretend that somebody is pulling in a JSON node tree. And yeah, I'm just getting ready to go to work myself, but I work at night kind of. So let's say we unmarshal some JSON data that looks like this. All right. This is a raw compressed JSON AST. The long form is here. And let's say that let's say we have a parse tree that's already been created in AST or whatever from a particular grammar or something, and I wanted to inflate it into a node tree from text. Well, I've already got the unmarshaling in JSON going on. Greg did that for us. We derived it from the encoding JSON package. But so that stuff could get loaded up, and by default right now it loads up value, and it doesn't do anything to actual. So what I've just realized here is that by putting actual here, I can do that initial generic JSON load that doesn't know anything about anything except for the fact that everything should be either a string or there's no numbers at all in the JSON in the AST. And then when we pull it up, so when you pull that thing up, I can actually walk the entire loaded JSON tree and convert and create the actual value from the value based on the structure and type of the grammar that the JSON file has represented on its way in. So it's basically a second round of parsing once the string representations have been there, and this is going to allow us to do that, and I really love that. And that was quite accidental, actually. I was like thinking we're going to have to maintain two trees, one with actual values and one with real. But by just adding that to the node, I think we can get away with that, particularly because we have the empty interface, which other languages don't support. I guess C you could just do a pointer, right? And you'd have to do the casting of this. You could do this in C. It would just be, you'd have to do all your own casting and everything. I don't know if you could do it with Rust. Does Rust have empty interfaces? You couldn't do it with generics. I'm just trying to think how it would be implemented in another language as well. Oh, we got a comment here. Sorry, off topic. IBM is moving GTS to support. Yep. I know. That I tweeted about that a couple of days ago. They're splitting the company in half. The Titanic has just split. Remember when it was kind of going down and then it split right before it went underwater? That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. Hybrid cloud computing. Yeah, they're so stupid. Yeah. It's one of the stupidest. Honestly, it's the only move they can make if they're going to compete. But the fact that they're getting rid of all of their old school clientele, like all the governments and everybody who needs mainframe and all that stuff, it's totally stupid. They're going to tank the whole company. I swear to God, the whole thing's going down. Yeah, it's all going to die. And that's what happens when you put the president of Red Hat in charge of IBM. That's exactly what you should expect. That's exactly what you expect. All this old crap. Oh, it's out of here. First thing he does, chops it all up and makes it its own company. We're not that company anymore. Dude, it's so stupid. So stupid. It just shows they're going to try to compete against Google, Amazon, and Microsoft for cloud and AI. Think about that for a second. It's like when they declared that they were the leaders of cloud. When Ginny Rometty, when she got on the video thing, and she said, "We are the dominant leader in cloud." I'm like, really? Because the entire market doesn't agree with you. You can say it all you want; it ain't gonna make it true. It's like they're so used to like projecting. They're basically the Trump of companies. We are the best company on the planet. We have the best words. We have the best cloud. We have the best clientele. I'm number one. Yeah, it's like we have the most patents of anybody on the planet. Do you not understand, IBM? They aren't even half that bad. Oh, they are. Actually, they are bad. They're really bad. And I work there. The Azure people say the same thing. Yeah. Oh no, okay, great. That's fair. That's totally fair. But my point is it's like that's totally fair. They're not Trump. That's not fair. But they are really good at like like painting over the crap and saying, hey, it's all good. You know how IBM is a totally failed company? Because every year it continues to brag about how many patents it has. Every year it continues to brag about how many patents it has. How ancient of a company and mindset do you have to brag about all the patents you have when the top-selling, best-selling books right now about the third industrial age is all about the new sharing economy? How stupid do you have to be as a company to do that? Meanwhile, Harvard Business Review reviews GitLab, which is like revolutionizing work because because they take those patents from the place. They do. And you can't advance in the company unless you have patents. And I was like, fuck no, I'm not getting a patent. I could have had like a dozen patents. My stuff was on thousands and thousands of machines. And I wrote internet protocols. I did all kinds of shit that I could have went for patent. Everybody said to me, you need to go get patents. If you want to progress your career in IBM and become a distinguished engineer, which is such a bullshit title I found out after the fact. I was like, if you want to do that, you have to get all these patents. You have to do this and this. I'm like, I ain't doing that. I knew people on other teams who had patents and they sucked. I'm sorry. They sucked. They were horrible, and they would apply for patents for everything. All they spent was all their time was applying for patents. And so they kept applying for patents, and shit wasn't getting done because they were spending so much time going through the patent process. Why? So that they could get distinguished engineer as their title. It's like it was the opposite of meritocracy. It was we were just talking about that earlier, and you're getting me on my ranter. And I had some coffee, so now I'm all fired up. But yeah. So it's funny because I love the people at IBM. I mean, the people that have been there, and I want to believe the company's not nearly as evil as some of the other companies that are out there. But we had a Google Golang compiler team member. He was here the other day, and it really reminded me that people are people. They're not evil. Individual people are generally not evil, and so I don't want anybody who's worked there or working at Google to think that, and so anyway, but they're making dumb decisions. But I don't know what other decision you're going to make if you were put in charge of IBM, what would you do? What would you do? Seriously, if someone told you, okay, you're the president, you can do anything you want with this company, as long as it progresses and makes and changes and progress, what would you do? It's like a huge responsibility. It might not. I don't know. It's always easier to judge from the sidelines. Give them the benefit of the doubt, Rob. Give them the benefit of the doubt. What if you're 30 something and all of a sudden, or 40 something, and all of a sudden you've been told you now steer the biggest IT ship in history, and it has been around forever. It has survived the worst torrential rainfall in IT ever. It survived $1 trillion of debt. How are you going to save it? I don't know. I don't know what the answer would be. Maybe this is literally the only hope they have. I don't think they're going to pull it out. I really don't. But I just, what would you do if you were that person? I would just, Anyway, back to this. The problem is they demand relatively big profits from their shareholders. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, boy. That is so true. Another problem is that they continually keep trying to buy innovation. This happened while I was there. Try to do good for the world. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, there's a part of me that says, look, the company, let's face it, IBM is the epitome of technical debt. It is like one massive multi-trillion-dollar company with the biggest technical debt of any IT company in history. What do you do with that? The technical debt, strangely, has not killed the company and all of their customers. And those customers don't care about their technical debt. I don't care. It works fine for me. I don't care if nobody can get their unemployment benefits because there's a COBOL bug and we can't find any COBOL programmers in New Jersey. True story. people don't care about fixing technical debt until it becomes a crisis. And that's just the way of the world, unfortunately. There's just no way around that. Anyway, so let's go get this actual value here. Yeah. Well, some of you are going to be running companies that are going to be that big at some point, or you're going to have that level of responsibility. And, what would you do? It's easy for me, in my, with my cozy little coffee cup, chasing the gnats from my room because, to make suggestions about how IBM should do everything or how the country should be run and things like that. But I'm going to try to help giving people the benefit of the doubt, because if you were put in that space, what would you do? Thousands and thousands of people depend on your decision. It's tough, man. It's tough because a lot of those people, I've been at IBM. There's people that are IBM who they would refuse to learn anything new. Like, I'm fine. I'm just gonna coast it out to retirement. That I've had people tell me that straight on the phone. They had one guy, I won't say who, told me that exact thing. Couldn't afford to give up the insurance and a bunch of other stuff. He said, I can't leave. I have to stay. And he and a bunch of others were not particularly interested in learning anything new. Get what? Literally, I had somebody tell me that once. I told them about GitHub, and they're like, you should learn about GitHub. Get what? What do you do with those people? Yeah, but you know what? Look, it's terrifying because those people, they're human beings and they've made a mistake by not keeping their skills up. But the reason is because they've never been held accountable. They've never been held accountable for staying modern and relevant. And you talk about ageism. I'm particularly concerned about this because I look like one of those people. And I know that's really horrible to say, but most young people in the 20s and 30s something working for the FANG companies would look at me and go, oh yeah, no way. But I've tried really hard to keep myself current my whole career, and even started a company that's named after an app I made to help keep myself current. And when I see that stuff out there, I'm like, you know what? That is the consequence of your actions. You have chosen not to be an autodidact. You have chosen not to keep your skills up. I don't care if you're pushing retirement and you don't have any skills. This is tough. It would be really hard to be a CEO of a company that was filled with those people. What do you do? If you're Steve Jobs, you cut him as soon as you see him. Who gives a shit? If you're Elon Musk, you fire people. You fire 1/4 of his workforce. You guys remember that? At Tesla? Yeah, Elon Musk feels really strongly that people should be fired for cause. I agree with that, and so does Daniel Pink. Yeah, government for sure. Good enough for government work. Yeah, these people exist. They're all over the place, and it's just human nature. You're going to find them no matter what. No matter how much society changes, there will always be the people on the bottom floor of Voyager sitting there because they wanted to be astrophysicists and got stuck in Starfleet, but now they're in the Delta Quadrant. That's an episode. So there will always be those people. So just don't be one. Don't be one of those people. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how much you think you can't do it, how much imposter syndrome you have. Please don't do that. We need more. We need people to do things more. We need more engineers, and we need more good people in management. So anyway, and freelancers. And Gary, what's his name? Daniel Pink. I put that book in storage. I don't. It's not out. It's not in my reading list for this year. But Free Agent Nation. It's an older book, but my God, is it full of. I think we need. I don't think we need less management. I think we need about the same management. It just needs to be better, and it needs to be more informed. We need good managers. Yeah. I used to buy into the idea that the whole society should just be run by engineers, and I don't agree with that at all anymore. Did you see all the engineers roasting Linus Torvalds? We need less micromanagement for sure. We don't need really good engineers trying to run projects and deal with people and communicate, because they can't. Do we need to run the Linus Torvalds thing where all the Debian conference and one after one everybody comes up and talks? Those people, if they didn't have a manager, would destroy anything they got involved with. because they don't have any 360 view of the thing. They're like myopically on their one piece of the kernel or their view of the FSF or whatever, and I'm not immune to that. You know, it takes a really amazing skill set to be a manager. I bow down to the good managers, because they need. There's one guy in Bloomberg, that in front of my wife. He's got that skill. He's really, really able to bring people together. You know, you need a Janeway. Again, I'm doing Voyager, but we need good managers, and maybe a fewer of them, yes, but you definitely need them. You need a manager to tell you to shut up, Mac, and deal with and just deal with the tabs. It's like, just do your job and use the tabs, because that's what everybody else on the project did. Yes, but I can't. I'm morally opposed to using tabs. If we had engineers making all the decisions, we would be in big trouble. We would never get over how to name our variables. or I mean, we would be bike shedding the shit out of everything, because that's what engineers do. That's what they do. They love the details. They love stylistic craftsmanship, and serif versus sans serif fonts, stuff like that. We would waste like entire days just on those decisions. We need people to break through that shit. And so I don't know if that counts. If either a manager or you do like the Go management team did, the design team, they had 3 people and they voted on all these things so they could continue, because they were all engineers, really good engineers, and they made it. They had a structure. They had to give themselves a political structure in order to make progress. Otherwise, they would have fought forever. Like surrendering, I agree. I don't think you should either. I don't like that. Isn't it? You know what really sucks is that there's a ceiling for engineers, how much money they can make. That this is changing, thank God. But yeah, engineers in most careers, there's a ceiling how much money you can make as an engineer, and then if you want to make more money than that, you have to become a manager. Then the question becomes, well, do you want the money that much? It's also why people that tend to be upper managers are really shitty people. because they've traded other things for their extra money so many times along the way. I'm sorry to say that. People can crucify me. I don't care. The higher up you are, generally speaking, the harder it is for you to stay a good person. And I've observed that so much. And there are some great people who, against all odds, have kept their soul and who are at the CTO level, but it's very, or at the exec level of some kind. But yeah, engineers just aren't cutthroat enough, which is funny. Sometimes they are. I don't know. I've met some. The dangerous engineers are the technocrats who dig themselves in and create systems that nobody else understands, so that they have to be employed. Oh my God! I had the story of this one guy. Whew. Most engineers are only offered the management ladder to advance. Yes, isn't that suck? I hate that. Mac. That's one of my biggest complaints. That's actually why I went to IBM. I went to IBM because I thought the distinguished engineer career path meant that I could stay hands-on engineer and still advance to CEO level and make money. Wrong. Yep, wrong. The other thing you have to be aware of is sometimes it happens to you. I've talked about this before, and since I'm almost done today, I'll just rant a little bit more. I got this done. This is all done, what I'm doing up here anyway. I just need to do the actual thing. Where is the actual? So yeah, there's a thing called manager suck. What I call, there's, you have to watch out for that. So as an engineer, you're really motivated, right? This is about a 5-minute thing. Yeah. You can get in, you can put yourself in. That looks really interesting. Um, so something can happen to you without you even knowing it. You can say all these things about wanting to stay an engineer and not wanting to go in management and all that stuff, but here's how it happens. And I'm just going to tell you about this. If you're in, I have not. I need to read the whole thing. I'm going to read it today. This is really great. This needs to be a knowledge base entry. Nice. I'll have to read it right now. But I'll just say something really quick. I'm going to put the fish on because this is a good wind-up thing, and I'm going to go off after this. So this is I've seen this happen so many times to good engineers, and it almost happened to me. And I if it had happened to me, I wouldn't be a problem. And if you've heard me talk about this before, just turn me off and go away. But what happens is if you're a really good engineer and you care about your things and you're an autodidact and you're teaching yourself all your skills as you go, despite the degree you have or whether you have a degree or not, and you get good. And what happens is you start getting pulled into all these meetings. And the reason you start getting pulled into meetings is because you're the, quote, subject matter expert. And so your manager, your project teams are like, oh my God, you're so good. Come in here. And you're like, they stroke your ego and they bring you in. And you are the smartest person in the room a lot of times, and technically, and so yeah, they listen to everything you say. You're basically, the Star Trek lead engineer in the room, right? And you don't have to defend yourself because you don't have other engineers in there. You're the expert. That's literally what they call you, subject matter expert. And it's very, very appealing to your ego and to everything else. Then pretty soon they're like, we're going to make this part of your official title. We're going to give you a little bit more money. And, yeah. So they were going to give you a little bit more money. And then you're like, ooh, well, what happens? What happens to your tech skills? I bet you guys know. Every time you attend another subject matter expert meeting and provide expert engineering expertise, somebody else is working on their engineering skills and actually doing something. And so the more meetings you get pulled into for those kind of things, the less you're using the code and you're acquainted with the base. Pretty soon you find yourself asking your junior, quote unquote juniors, that what's going on, and you're like, hey, what did you change? And you don't know, and you lose track of it, or they learn a new cool thing and they talk about it at lunch and you're not there because you're in a meeting. And you're making new friends and all the managers love you and you're starting to hang out with a new crowd, and that's great. It feels like you're advancing and everything. But your engineering skills are getting really bad and you're getting really rusty. Slowly it happens. So sometimes it happens over, drop their skills over time. Yeah. That's why I will always be a developer and Arch combined. Yeah. Never get on the hands on. And then they start to call you an architect, and now you're not actually coding at all. You're designing systems. Somebody needs to do that job. So I'm not saying don't do it. They make more money. And they might not remember specific individual things. It's impossible to remember everything. And so yeah, they move into architecture, and then you have a team, and you're put in charge of the team. The team is the one with the solid, core skills, and you're the one who's just kind of guiding them. And it just keeps going like that. And pretty soon you're like a project manager or a CTO or a distinguished engineer, and all you know is you're just attending conferences all day, every day. You're hobnobbing, you're playing golf and making decisions about what products you're going to buy based on trends you read or Gartner Group analysis. And you're not even playing with tech, except for on the side, maybe as a hobby. And if you're lucky, you probably at that point will start to create your own little pocket tech SME. A lot of these, there's a guy, I actually knew a guy, he was my neighbor, worked for a different company than me, and he was the pocket tech for an executive, a CTO level executive, and he had been sort of informally identified as the pocket engineer that gave the CTO wicked powers, because he was feeding this CTO with all this really great information from the trenches, right, about how things were working and everything to do. And the CTO was really smart. He was really smart to hold on to this person and not distract him. Like you describe, I hate it. Yeah. That's the one you went freelance. Yeah. And so this CTO, at least this CTO had the sense of saying, okay, if I'm going to stay good at this job, I need to at least have somebody who is hands-on constantly in the trenches, and I am not going to mess with them at all other than like, and so, yeah, this dude was kind of like, I don't know for sure, but I think he was kind of like paid a little bit under the table where he had bonuses and stuff going on. But I swear to God, he was like the pocket engineer for the CTO. And the CTO was really good. He was doing really great, but he took all the credit for all the decisions. I actually had, I wrote an architectural suggestion while I was Nike's internal SwooshNet webmaster and architect, and my manager brought it to me and showed me my exact email, copied exactly without even messing the words, and it had come from somebody else that was on my mailing list and it had been resent as his own suggestions. And my manager brought me in and she goes, "This sounded like something that you sent to me earlier. Is this something you sent?" And that, I kid you not, that actually happened. That word for word. The dude didn't even try to change it. He copied my stuff. He was a quote unquote architect and I was still an engineer. I was running SwooshNet, but I swear to God that happened. And he at least could have, that's the opposite. That's like, oh yeah, we found out who it was. And my manager, Barb at the time, she's fantastic. God, I miss her. She roasted the dude. She was like, "We just want everybody to know that this is actually my person's ideas and direction." That was the year that I received the There Was No Finish Line award from Nike later after that. Because somebody took my architectural ideas, who was an architect, who was paid for architecture. And that, I'm not making a story up, that actually happened. And that doesn't happen much, but so you just have to be careful, because there's the people who know, are in the trenches, and there's the people who kind of have a feeling. So you have to decide what you want to be. And I'm not saying don't go into management, but if you do go into management, one of the best ways to do that is to not forget the people who are giving you the ideas, and make sure you give them the credit. But yeah, development is a career. It's only 5 to 10 years before you're either moving through manager or left behind. Companies say they want experienced engineers, but they immediately have the experience away from the code. Peyton rules, you've totally nailed it. And so I've got to go now. I've got like 5 minutes left, but I've told that story a few times on the stream here. I should probably make an actual video about it. But it's so important, if you're getting into tech or if you've been in tech for a while, to be aware of it, because if you're not aware of it, it'll just happen to you. And as soon as your career starts happening to you, you've lost full control. And there is a moment in my career where it started happening to me, and pretty soon I'm third level support looking for memory leaks and needles in a haystack in Tivoli compliance manager code that tattletales on people for not paying for all the CPUs they're running it on. I was like, how the fuck did I get here? It's because, I'd had family and stuff. And so for about a year and a half, I'd let my career start to happen to me. And my manager, everybody decided to keep putting me where they wanted me, instead of like the vice president who asked me to be on the virtual team, and the manager who killed that opportunity because he wanted me to stay on his team. You got to take control of your career. And you've got to be really aware, particularly when it feels good, because sometimes they will give you more money and they'll give you more notoriety. And you have to really be sure that you want to leave the technology behind. And there's a big scary thing that is involved in that. When you do that, you're now being paid based on your reputation and seniority, and not for your tool set. And some of those tools in management and project management, architecture, are different, skills that need to be developed and all that. But there are different skills than knowing how to do TypeScript or whatever you're going to be doing, or staying. I mean, come on. If you look away for 2 seconds in web development, you're behind. It's moving that fast if that's where you choose to work. And so my point is, if you're going to make that decision, just make it consciously, and just know that having a sharp set of hard tools is much more employable everywhere than having seniority and reputation with a particular company. And that's why these managers are getting just chopped. Heads are rolling in middle managers right now, because nobody needs them. All this COVID stuff, a lot of these middle managers are scared for their lives. What do you mean you don't need me to sit in a meeting and and control it? And so these people are, Don Tapscott predicted this in '98. I went to the digital generation presentation of his, and he predicted it. He says, if you have middle manager or middle anything in your title, get out of it, because you're gonna go away. Yeah. So it's cutting the fat is what it's doing, and there's more direct control over what's getting done. The people who can do the work and the people who need the work. So the customer and the person providing the service or the skill are the middle layers are being removed, which I think is good. There's just more direct, and that's the whole gig economy, right? Freelancing, gig economy, and freelancing. You provide a service, you go directly to a customer. There's very few people in between. And that's what I do with SkillStack, right? I am directly mentoring people, and I am directly in charge of that destiny. It doesn't mean I'm going to get rich, but it does mean that I have to be available to them, which is why I need to drop right now. Because in 4 minutes I'm going to be on a mentoring session. And flat organizations, I agree, and I think middle management. I think most management. I wish they could replace managers with customer advocates, people who are I think that's what's wrong with our education system, by the way. The problem is that we think that the education system is for the teachers, actually for the kids. If we can tie consumers directly to the people providing the services and the products, and get all this stuff in between out of the way, I think we'll be better. There has to be some level of logistics in there, and that's what that guy on the third industrial revolution is talking about too. The zero opportunity cost. So you can make your own movie now. You don't need all the middle layers. You can just make one. To your rank and file, yeah, they're just glorified communicators, right? Well, frankly, now think about education for a second. How many teachers are just glorified? They're just pushing the textbooks and punching the numbers. I have all the respect in the world for teachers, but so many of them are just middle managers. They work their heart out, and they have hearts of gold, some of them, but their job essentially is middle management. They are connecting kids, people that are learning, with the learning and facilitating that it happens. A lot of times they're forcing it to happen because the kids don't want to learn, which I will never do. But if you could, in other words, in some sense, in some sense, I am not saying this is a bad answer, but in some sense, there are layers of teaching that are in the way. While eating juicy spare ribs and thinking good energetic rants today, Rob. Good job. All right. Well, I got max approval, so it's probably time to go. I'll be back tomorrow to do some more on this slow development of the pegn library, and we'll keep going. But I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna be doing my sessions. I'm gonna get a call here in a second. Do something useful. Go make a difference.